Amy, it's Friday in theory.
It's true.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Riley's indulging me. We're recording this a little bit early because I'm going to New Orleans. So if any huge news happens on Thursday, we'll try and chime in. But otherwise, you're getting a little bit of a throwback.
Yeah, this is some of the oldest news you've ever heard in your life. This news is so old, you're going to be like, what the hell are they talking? You'll be like, they're still talking about Victoria Beckham's wedding dance. It's like, yeah, sorry, we have to. But yeah, but whatever. This is going to be I think, such worthwhile news that even if it's old as hell, it'll still be valuable to hear it. Don't you think?
Yeah, I saw a headline that Victoria Beckham has been on the floor in bits.
Yeah, I saw it too. Someone shared a photo. I think it was Buzz Lightyear with his arm. I don't know what it was. It was like with his arm off, and it said, and I was, I didn't
Please
read
finish. I need to understand what you're saying.
Someone said a live camera of Victoria Beckham in bits. It was Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head when they had all their stuff off their body. But it does really make you think if she's in bits on the floor. These celebrities, she's in bits. These celebrities, man, I know we talked about it all the time, but like we got to figure out our new relationship to celebrities. It's almost good that TikTokers and a bunch of people are like the new future or whatever, because there's something wrong with our relationship to celebrities. Like the fact that Victoria Beckham is bawling, crying on the floor in bits like Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story because a secret dance that was NDA'd was released into the world. It's like, God damn, these are just people. Like, who cares? This is so fucked
You're
up.
saying we should all get a life?
No, I know. I love our lives. I love our lives. Look at
us. I mean, I can't talk, and I'm not getting into it, but I was just yapping Riley's ear off before the record about I was literally all the president's men, like funneling through documents of Blake Lively's emails to celebrities. I was like, Blake Lively, Ben Affleck, Blake Lively, Matt Damon, Blake Lively, Taylor Swift, like Control F, and I'm getting text messages like it's my job. Like my friend's like, did you see this part? Did you see this part?
Yeah, I like it too. I get it. And I love seeing a secret email that Ben Affleck and Blake Lively like passed on to each other. I do like it, but I feel like we have to always keep that sense of irony about it. There has to still be a silliness attached. Like we are laughing about Victoria Beckham doing a weird sexually what was it? Like a sort of erotic dance with Brooklyn Beckham. And we have to just keep in mind, like, that's silly. And we've all seen that at weddings when the mom gets too close to the son and starts doing a weird dance. And but I worry about the mental well-being of celebrities in a way when they get to this vaulted position and then their worlds crumble. Like even, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, I feel like the tide is so turned, on Meghan Markle. I kind of feel bad for their well-being too. They're kind of like, we were celebrities. You loved us. Don't you remember? And then it's now like, you know what I mean? And now it's like, well, we don't give a shit. I mean, some people still do, but it's also transitory and so fake. And so.
No, it is like, I think about it too much about how much of a mindfuck the whole thing is, where I would say it's impossible almost to survive. Like you have to be, I always think about Beyonce or someone like that, who's the most famous person in the world, but she's completely MIA most of the year. Yeah. And I feel like that's the only way to just be off the grid. But that's also like kind of sucks. It's like how the Obamas can't go grocery shopping anymore. Stuff like that, I think, is worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I was deprived of going to Trader Joe's every week, it really would be a detriment to my mental health. It's one of my favorite things to do in life. And I'm not, it isn't woe is me for celebrities. I just feel like we as a group that are looking at celebrities are such a kind of a nightmare. You wield us wrong and we're a fucking nightmare to you. And we will ruin your lives instantly, for one thing. And that's why that Leonardo DiCaprio shit and Beyonce, like you're talking about, you don't know fucking shit about Leonardo DiCaprio. You don't know shit about Tom Cruise. People don't even know where he lives. Right. Like, if you want to be this mythic figure that is elusive. You can be, to a certain degree, I guess, but then you don't get to have even a semblance of a life. Like you can't even be normal at that level. So I don't even know that's why maybe muddying the waters of having this new crop of talent will kind of take this. I wonder if even George Clooney would be like, remember what Jake Kelly was about? It's like, do I
get it?
Is it worth it? Is it worth the fame?
Can I have one more take?
Can I just have one more? Oh my, I will never forget, probably for at least one more year. I'll never forget when Jake Kelly looks at the camera at the end and he goes, "Can I get one more?" And he's talking about life, and he could be talking about one more take of a movie. But yeah, what's the real thesis of this? I feel bad for Victoria Beckham.
If I was thinking, though, if you were rich enough, like a Beyonce or a Tom Cruise, even probably anyone worth over 50 million, you could build your own Trader Joe's, and you could have the rehearsal, or like Schenectady, New York, and just be like, "Hey, I'm back. Need more frozen penne arrabbiata?" And they'd be like, "Love this. Good choice."
Yeah, I will not look at you. You are no one to me. Have fun with that purchase. Go to the next aisle if you'd like to find the milk. Yeah, everyone could be in on it and treating you very, very well. That'd be so fun. I'd love to be one of the actors in that simulation for Tom Cruise if he wants to have a Trader Joe's day. That'd be so fun. Did
you bring any bags? Do you think they would make Tom Cruise bag his own groceries the way they make me bag my own groceries?
They make you bag? Wait. They make you bag? They're waiting. It's a standoff to wait for you to bag your own groceries?
It doesn't happen every time. Sometimes we both do it, and I'm like, I'm fine to do it, but I'm a little bit like, when did this change happen?
Okay. All right. I'm sorry to talk about this too long, but I never have that interaction because I love bagging my groceries. And I either bring my bags or I'm starting to double up the paper before they're even putting my hard-boiled eggs down the chute. So I don't ever have that
bag of eggs.
I get that. Oh, the hard-boiled bag of eggs. Yeah, that's one of Penny's favorite meals. So she loves it. So I don't ever. They thank me. They say they don't know my name. They go, "Sir, thank you so much for starting to bag." And I always think it's like they'll do it if
you just stand there. They're responsible. With your mouth open.
They're responsible for doing it, but they like when you take that burden from them. So that's why I never really get that sense that they're waiting.
My thing is, so I always bring my Baggu bags, which aren't structured. So I get a little frantic when it's up to me, and I feel the pressure to give them space to continue to put stuff on the thing. So my methods aren't very good. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm putting cans on top of a banana. And it's just a total shit show.
Oh, well, I was, I've told you this before, even with an unstructured bag, I'm kind of dynamite
You're in your element.
Because I worked at Publix, I've told you, for about 4 years, and I know exactly where not to put cans. And I take up that space. I go there and I have my big reusable bags.
This is where you thrive.
Yeah, I would love to have I'd love to be on the CCTV cameras watching you do your Trader Joe's journey, and then I would like you to see mine someday, just to see what kind of difference, what kind of skills we yield as we're going through this process. You love when do you like when Trader Joe's people say hard-boiled eggs? Have you tried these before? You know how they have to say one nice thing about one item. Do you like that?
I liked it better before I found out that they had to do it.
Yeah. I don't think they have to, but I do think it's very much recommended. Talk about one notable item that you really like, and then once you notice that, they do it every single time.
Right. Sometimes I like when they give me ooh, these are new. Haven't tried them yet. Looking forward to this. And I'm like, yeah, me too. That's why I got it.
I like that too. I forget. I got salmon pinwheels one time, and
I just got those.
They're oh my. Have you eaten them before?
No. I was whatever the opposite / actually, sorry, that was a horrible sentence. A girl on TikTok bought them and ate them raw because she thought that's what they were for. And it went viral because everyone was like, dear God, absolutely not. But then I was like, oh yeah, I should try those, but cook them. Oh, good.
Yeah, cook them. Oh yeah. Put 400
air fryer.
Degrees. Yeah, air fryer. 400 degrees, 12 minutes. Parchment paper.
Get me started.
Those pinwheels are going to be one of the best things you've ever eaten in your life. The cashier goes, salmon pinwheels. These are one of my favorite items. She goes,
so
I heat them up
easy.
Before.
Great portion.
And just to paint the picture, I think it's what is it? it's feta and spinach.
Yeah.
Feta and spinach in a sort of circular salmon. Oh, it's great. But so this is what we were really trying to say is these are the joys that Beyonce or Tom Cruise or a certain celebrity doesn't get to have, these type of fun interactions like we get to
They
have.
don't know
especially
about the
at grocery
salmon
store.
pinwheel.
No, they have no clue. They're relegated to what I guess they put on their list, and they better hope that their personal assistant gets the right thing, But you would never get to explore under those conditions. But another kind of sad thing about being a celebrity in modern day society. But did you? But I know that we wanted to talk about salmon pinwheels and then Tom Cruise. But did you? Oh, but did you want to talk about? Really quickly, because I think this will still be the biggest news of the century on Friday when this comes out. You sent me this, and I had no idea that this had happened. It swept under my radar. But did you think it was kind of interesting when Marysol posted the ad of the century that would have Don Draper rolling in his goddamn grave, where it was Mama Elsa as an AI'd human being selling a new caviar? Right? Yes. Mama Elsa caviar, right? I couldn't believe it was real when you said this. I think it just came out. This is as of Wednesday. You said, I really want to talk about this. And I said, I didn't know what the hell it was. And then I watched it, and it's just as shocking and odd and dispiriting as you could ever imagine.
Yeah. Check it out on Marysol's Instagram. She has a fully AI video of her deceased mother promoting a new brand of caviar. It's called Mama Elsa Caviar. And at one point, I think it ends with her message saying, I need money. I love money. So she has her begging for money from beyond the grave.
Yeah. So I'll go first, and I will say that I find this to be on the end of funny to distasteful. I find it to be distasteful, right?
Yeah. Possibly deplorable.
I find it to be deplorable, bordering on evil. I think so it's AI, Mama Elsa. She's saying words. It's actually a recreation of her saying things that she would never say in her life to promote a brand of caviar where I assume 100% of the proceeds go to her daughter. Yes. There's a lot of facets to this, but I think overall my philosophy is that I don't think that deceased loved ones should be brought back to sell products. And I don't even know if for sure that it's even morally okay, or for me, like ethically okay, to bring back a loved one in an AI capacity in any way, even if they're doing like AI speech that was written and typed up. It's just so... We all have different relationships with death, but for me, this one really hits me hard as sort of like, you don't know what Mama Elsa would have ever thought of this. And there is a kind of a reasonable % chance that she would find this abhorrent.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about people using footage they have of loved ones and creating new videos and stuff with AI, which I feel like is the last bastion to like the end of humanity. Like, haven't we seen enough movies about how like fucked up and sad it is to depend on fake imagery and like VR experiences? Yeah.
I'm like gonna take it all the way personal and be like, after I die, when this capability is like the easiest thing in the world, you can do it like by saying words, like resurrect my dead grandfather and have him sell me Trader Joe's. Like it is completely soulless. Yeah, it is not me. Yeah. So the whatever reprieve that brings to someone is an artificial reprieve because it has nothing to do with me or anything I did. And you're approximating my speech and anything I would say. And you really do not know my wishes of whether or not I would ever want to utter anything like this. So just on that human scale, I think it is very bad. But then what I find when you put it in the Bravo lens, it like is kind of testing the limits of how eerie things can get when we are championing everything. And when I saw that the comments from Bravo celebrities are like fire emoji, this is so fucking awesome. Por favor, I love this and I love you. We learned so much from Mama, says Dolores. Like this is insane.
Perez Hilton, what a beautiful tribute. Do you think she put out a call the way
Yes.
that Salt Lake nail salon did and said, please help
Absolutely.
me?
Absolutely. Kiki Barth, 2 heart emojis. Yeah, I mean, she must be deleting comments, obviously. And then I read the article and it was like, how will Andy Cohen react to this? Like, will he think this is ghoulish and awful because he hasn't commented yet? And then I saw her next Instagram post was his mazel of the day. He said, I love this and cherish this. He said, this is one of my favorite AI videos I've ever seen in my life. I'm so glad that Mama Elsa was back to serve
Is he
caviar
a backer on this brand? Damn.
It's possible, but it's like fire emojis from Larsa Pippen about resurrecting Mama Elsa is a little too far for me. And I've always had a tortured relationship with Marysol. I think I've been very honest that I don't find her as fun and endearing as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always believed that she used Mama Elsa. The only reason that Marysol was able to last so long in Miami was because of how much we loved Mama Elsa. She was the one that got her through those early seasons. And then now she's sort of like lives off the legacy of her mom in a way. And I know that's horrible to say, but I think it's true. And this literally proves it. Like, you had to resurrect your mother to sell a product for you so that you can make money. That is so fucked up.
Yeah.
It really confirms my suspicions of what I always thought.
Bleak Street. No, it's my only defense would be that I do believe that she communes with her mom in the spirit realm, and I think maybe Mama Elsa did whisper in her ear, like, do whatever you need to do.
All right.
It's me.
I think that's the only legitimate like counter argument to this.
Yeah.
If you're like, this is awesome. It's that in some way you believe that Mama Elsa would have wanted Marysol to be rich and wealthy off a caviar enterprise, and that you would go to the lengths of doing anything for your daughter. So if she has to resurrect you in an AI form, that you would be on board because you'd do anything for your daughter.
What do you think Meredith Marks thinks?
What would Meredith Marks think? This is going to send... What the hell is Meredith Marks' caviar called? MM?
Yeah, because I get confused because there's a different brand called Marky's, but that's not her.
God damn it. I'll look up what Meredith Marks' caviar is. I'm sorry to even ask the question. I don't remember what the hell...
It's just Meredith Marks caviar.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Meredith Marks caviar. No, this is going to blow the water out of Meredith Marks caviar. Like, she's going to be pissed as hell. She didn't like... Caviar is her thing, just like baths. She might allow it because it's a different franchise. But I know that if you're a Bravo fan and you're wanting to have a sort of a fun caviar experience, you are now divided in what type of Bravo-related caviar you're going to get no matter what. Are you going to entertain your friends with Meredith Marks caviar to make them laugh?
Yeah.
And have that knowing laugh, winking spirit? Or are you going to go to Mama Elsa, which is now like has this weird taint to it of her resurrecting her mom? Like, I think more ironic Bravo fans are now going to be compelled to get Mama Elsa caviar because of what it means.
Yeah,
as a society.
It's just an expensive product for the gag. You know, it was easier to get Ramona Pinot Grigio or Skinny Girl or Fabellini or whatever, but $100 to be like, LOL, you guys, I got a tiny tin of Mama Elsa caviar, although that is something I would do.
I know. I was just thinking, I was like, if I'm entertaining people in a Bravo capacity and I wanted to splurge on caviar, I would probably go for Mama Elsa's. I never really was drawn to Meredith Marks' caviar before. This kind of became the more kitschy caviar instantly by her.
For sure.
Using her mom. Man, for $90 though, just to tout Meredith Marks for a second, $90, you get a taste of it all. Platinum white sturgeon, diamond, Osetra. Like, you can get this pack for $90 for 3 different ones. So it's not the craziest thing. If you and I went in on it and wanted to debate Mama Elsa versus Meredith Marks and just split it, whatever half of $90 is,
I wonder if she'll send some to Bethany. She's a Floridian now, so she could just drop it off at her house.
Oh, absolutely. Holy shit. Yeah, so what do you say? You defended it in a good way. You did say, like, for people who are thinking of this, like, in a loving way, it is true. If Mama Elsa, like, would she have granted her approval? Quite possibly. But you still agree that the ethics of it are a little slippery, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm avoiding AI, normalizing AI at every turn.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that she launched her entire business model, and I assume will continue to make more of these videos as part of their marketing, is problematic to me.
Yeah. I agree. It's just shocking that we even have to like debate this or talk about this. Like 10 years ago, if we were thinking of this, it would be the most awful thing you could ever consider in your life. And now it's like, well, should we utilize AI like this?
Right.
So I don't know, but I mean, I I don't know. I mean, I guess we talked about it for 10 minutes, so it means something. Maybe
It's
it's a
true.
part of, maybe a part of it was the audacity of the campaign, in a
A real
way. But
thought starter.
totally, it definitely stirred some thoughts within me about my mortality and what will be done once I die and if it matters.
Yes.
Okay, really quickly, I don't think that this is that interesting, just because House of Villains to me is like the pure fucking trash
Bottom of
can
the barrel.
of television. Like, speaking of AI, like at least it would be better than House of Villains. Like, at least you could write something that would be better than this. Like, I watched this trailer and I was just like, oh my god, Entertainment, ET channel or whatever. Like, oh my god, I think it's all part of the same umbrella, right? It's like the rival channel to Bravo,
Mhm.
and this is the fucking garbage that they put out into the world. I watched this trailer, and the only reason we're talking about it is because Tom Sandoval is on it. But like, even for the novelty of that, I was like, I can't suffer through this 2.5 minute trailer for the life of me. It was almost as shitty as watching Mama Elsa serve up caviar.
Remember when Jax left early because he claimed that Brittany had a
Yeah.
stroke?
Yeah, Brittany was so
And she's
mad
like,
at
I
him.
literally didn't. He
Yeah.
can't do anything right.
No, Sandoval is not. It's not even worth watching for the thrill of watching Sandoval. He like falls over once and crashes into a table, and then he jumps into a pool. There's not a lot of quotes
Plays a
from him.
trumpet.
Plays a trumpet. It's just awful, it's this bargain bin of reality television that this tier of Bravo celebrities have to enter in is really
It's
is
purgatory.
just
Or
disgraceful.
just hell itself.
It's hell itself. I gave Sheena Shea, when she had to go on Masked Singer, for some reason that has like, become a different tier of novelty to where it's like respected in a way, like Dancing with the Stars. But still, I just think this fucking shit is pure shit. Anytime these Bravo celebrities venture out onto other channels and stuff, it's like they don't know how to utilize these personalities in any way. And I almost feel bad that Tom Sandoval has to make his rounds on House of Villains. Like, it's already his legacy is so tainted, and now it's like even worse. I'm like, I'm not even gonna watch it for 1 second. I've never watched one. And no offense, because this episode is sponsored by Entertainment. What is it? E with an exclamation point. Yeah, but it's just pure shit. I have limits of what I can watch, and I'm not allured to this in any way.
No, it really is like Traitors is one thing, House of Villains is another. It's beyond pretty bleak stuff, but no, I won't watch it either. So, but maybe some good clips will come out of it. I was slightly relieved for his mortgage or whatever deal he struck with Ariana, that maybe it will help him settle that deal with her and release her away from him. So
you know what I think I've already made this point, or we've talked about this before, but the fact that Tom Sandoval, which we, boo, already I hear the boos. Tomato. But the fact that he was not able to have a chance to redeem himself on the show, that all of them in some capacity were redeemed by just having to watch them and suffer through their misfortunes until they were ultimately redeemed by the audience. Like, I could give any example of any cast member, and they all were afforded the opportunity to show themselves again and have the audience be reacclimated to them, despite what you thought, and have a different view of them at a certain point. Tom Sandoval ended at the worst moment of his life And then the chapter was completely closed, and now nobody gives a shit about him because he's not doing anything in the Bravo circuit. And now, seriously, it is hell. Like he's circling the bowels of hell.
He has
and he's
to push the rock up the hill for eternity.
He's Jacob and Marley forever, entombed in his chains of the scandal.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever have another outlet to redeem himself in the eyes of the Bravo public ever again.
Yeah, I will say it seems like everyone else, I'll just stick with James and Jax, they got chances over time, but then they still ended up in the same spot. Like James ended up canceled again by the very end, and so did Jax. Although I feel like James is doing way better than somehow Sandoval, despite his crimes being way worse. Like he's like touring, and you're like, oh, okay.
Well, we've talked about that and what that means. No, you're right though. They did ultimately end up reaffirming their horrible character over time. Right. It was like in cycles. But I'm just saying that you can't say without a shadow of a doubt that with 3 more seasons of the Vanderpump Rules cast, that there wouldn't be some reaffirming of the Tom Sandoval that people used to love for the 10 seasons until we found out about Scandoval. There is at least a 10 to 20% chance that the audience he would have gained the audience back. You can't just say that he would have been a villain for the rest of his life.
It would have been like if James or Stassi, the show ended during the season that they were not around, and they didn't have a chance to revive themselves. But it's bleak stuff. And then meanwhile, Stassi, I'll just say this, I don't have really commentary, but her podcast is moving to Netflix. She's one of those big Netflix is trying to cheat people out of making talk shows and just doing podcasts instead and calling it just a podcast, even though it's a full-on show. But happy for her if she got a big check.
Yeah, I really want to know what this check is like, and how do we sign up to get Turtle Time in your My List on Netflix? I mean, I hope it's a substantial amount of money to be a part of the Netflix programming. You know, a lot of the podcasts I love, the Ringer network is all going to Netflix.
Oh, they
are Rewatchables and everyone.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm wondering. It's almost like it's like for those creators. It's like you're for the exact same work that you're doing, now you're getting an additional salary by it premiering on Netflix at the same time. It's like pretty amazing for podcasters.
That would be a real Faustian bargain for me. Not that we have an offer waiting in our emails, but I'd be like,
let me check.
Fuck, I fucking hate Netflix.
Oh my God. All right, we might have to have an internal meeting about that one.
It's like, beep.
I think, okay. Yeah, well, okay. We can't talk for very much longer. We've talked a lot. It's degrading again. It degrades the value, the entertainment level of certain properties. Like HBO was once the bastion, the gold standard, and now it was muddied by HBO Max having TLC trash right next to it. That is now, you can make the case that these lower tier podcasts going on Netflix is now even more muddying the line between them. But also. To talk about what we mentioned before, it's like, how much longer do we need this upper tier class of celebrities and content that we worship? How long do we need to keep up that facade before it's just broken naturally, and we know that's coming no matter what? So is Netflix right to be doing something like that?
They're just like degrading the entire system to no one's benefit. It feels like, they're not. At one point, it felt like, well, at least they're filming a lot of projects, but then it was like, none of them were in LA, and then it's like, no one's getting residuals. It was just it all, and now they're like, we don't give a fuck about movie theaters. We're gonna shutter operations for one of the biggest studios and have their movies go straight to streaming. Like, they're just like kneecapping. I'm sick of this disruptors phase, and it does appear that what we had originally worked better for everyone.
Yeah, it's just going to be up to us, as it always has been, to where I can't think of HBO as the holy grail of every show, as that's that's my place to find the shows that I want to watch. It's just going to be up to us to be even more discerning now in this landscape of garbage to just find the 2 or 3 things that we really like and cherish. It's just making it harder, but the decision is still the same. We just have to find the things that we love as we pick through the trash of our culture.
You're like, not 1,000-Pound Sisters, not Swamp Diggers. Oh, there's a Treme.
Yeah. Yes. There's Treme. I can't wait to watch Treme. So, I think that you and I should conclude there on this news segment. We talked about a lot. Let's take a little bit of a break, and then we'll return with our coverage of Southern Charm and Beverly Hills. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good to me. Papa-doo.
Papa-doo. Papa-doo.
Papa-dee-dee-dee.
We're recording, right?
I think so.
Wonderful. Well, we're back. You probably heard some news, I would assume. Probably about 20 or 30 minutes of news. And now, like we promised, let's talk about this week's episode of Southern Charm, which had a very interesting title. If you're a title watcher like Amy and I, the title of this thing is called Engaged in Battle, which has the engagement of Rod, being in this, and also battle between, I guess, what would you say, Austin and Craig, I assume, or battling?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. And then maybe at the end, Austin and Audrey.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Major battle upcoming. Oh, my God. So, just talking high level here, we got the first mention of Austin being called Craig's enemy. And I was like, oh my God, it was a little shocking to me. After apologizing and being like, I love you, and we just fight like cats and dogs. I guess Austin's cats and Craig's dogs, but like they're like, we fight like hell, but we still have respect. It was kind of thrilling, shocking to hear Craig just be like, you gave information to my enemy and he wielded it against me. What did you think would happen with my enemy? He said it like 3 or 4 times. I was like, this declaration is kind of shocking. Like, is
a
this
little dramatic?
Yeah, a little dramatic, but is this the real secret feud in Southern Charm? Like, is he announcing like, this guy does not have my best intentions at heart. We are no longer friends.
Yeah,
you have to imagine.
His favorite hobby is to bring me down. It's like, okay, if you actually feel that way, then just don't be friends. What are we even talking about then?
Yeah, but yes, of course, for sure. I mean, he's saying one thing and acting another way with Austin by apologizing to him. It's like, what the hell? It's like you guys want a duel for a second. It's like he wants to take off his glove and smack him across the face. But what if it is just such, like, I've had, I don't want to get too personal. Never do I want to get too personal. But I have had contentious, long-time friendships where it would get heated and there'd be...
Frenemy?
Yeah, I would never declare some of these people in my past as... I would have never said this is my enemy. But there were times when we absolutely despised each other's guts and we knew how to piss each other off. But it was some of my best friends. So I wonder if...
Doesn't that count as frenemy?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's the line is blurred.
Yeah, I would never have said this. Yeah, I guess so. Because no one knows you better than this person who can piss you off and treat you like shit.
Do you remember when Taylor Armstrong was like, if you don't want to be my friend, fine, but just please don't be my enemy?
Totally. Oh my God, the dichotomy of friend versus enemy. It's like, if you can't be my friend, just please don't become my enemy. It was like, if I was Austin hearing that, I'd be like, what the hell were you doing at Miss Patricia's dinner? Apologizing to me if you consider me this clear-cut enemy. So that was shocking to me. And I also really liked when it got a little rambunctious towards the end at that chaotic island bar.
Yeah. Southern Charm is one of the few places where people are still getting crunk.
Oh, yeah.
Do people still say that?
Yes. Yeah, I just looked at TikTok and people are saying crunk big time. It's really back. At a certain part, I'm stepping on it, but I got to say, at a certain part, when Austin is kind of hugging Sally, and they're commenting on it, and it gets a little freewheeling, and all of a sudden Whitney is playing the Star Spangled Banner on guitar. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is awesome. You know what I mean?
Imagine if you walked in on that in real life. I would go insane.
It would be crazy. I mean, it must be wild to be a Charlestonian and love this show and just kind of like do pin the tail on the donkey on a map when they're filming and just be like, I wonder if they're going to go to this island bar because Shep's new house is there. I wonder if they're going to go to By the Way. Like, they get to have their own sort of Vanderpump Row experience like we get, you know, sometimes. Like, it's just crazy. I couldn't imagine seeing any of this shit. And it was fun. Like you said, this is in new kind of fun territory. I think the Sally, Charlie, Austin, Craig is about as high level drama as we can get these days on Southern Charm. This shit that's going on now.
Yeah, it's sort of keeping a strong through line.
Yes.
And then there's other fun stuff throughout. So yeah, I thought it was like a totally solid episode. But we can go through. There's some parts that shine more than others. But of course, it begins with Sally dealing with the aftermath of having purchased all of these chickens.
That
who
day
she
after.
says smell like shit.
Yeah.
She's scared of them.
Yeah, this is the feeling you get after you get chickens for the first time. Some people, the next day is horrendous. She said they stink like shit. She said each one stinks worse than the last. Cantaloupe stinks mildly. Coconut stinks like a 7 out of 10. And then popcorn stinks to high heaven and is scary.
She was like, she did that thing that I think we've moved on from as a society. She said, get chickens, they said. It'll be fun, they said. And I'm like, well, I haven't heard that one in a while.
Who originated that? Because I knew that the minute she struck it, I go, I remember saying, I never got one of those off. Isn't it from like
fucking Lord of the Flies or something?
Get chickens, he said. It'll be fun, he said. I don't know. Sitcoms, I guess. Get chickens, he says. They won't stink. He said, I don't know who did this, but I was really surprised that Sally was able to get that on camera. Doing one of those, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't. If anyone knows the origin, please let us know.
Yeah, you'll have a great time, he said. It's when like in a movie, someone's covered in like a bunch of beer. Going home, and they're like, go to a bar, they said. You'll have a great time, they said. You know what I mean? Like, and they're talking to themselves.
You're huffing and puffing, walking up a hill, and you're like, go on a hike, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Yeah, we definitely gave a bunch of examples of people doing that.
Do you guys get it? You know what we're saying?
Now, this was funny. The editors were having a little bit of a laugh here. Sally is trying to get these chickens to roost back in their chicken coop, and then one of the chickens was named Popcorn, and then Madison is sitting on the couch eating popcorn. Did you notice that?
True, I did not put that together.
Yeah, and then Craig FaceTimes her, and he goes, sorry, Madison, are you eating popcorn? She goes, yeah, but you can call me when I'm eating popcorn. And he goes, okay, well, then I'll permission to proceed. And she goes, yes. And he goes, I'm sorry that I didn't come to your sleepover. It was my idea, but I got too pissed, and Austin was too drunk for me to go to that sleepover, so I didn't want to come.
He's so annoying. Everything he does annoys me. He's like, it was my idea, and then Austin was so hammered that I just couldn't deal with it. And she's like, oh, okay. It's like he wanted credit for the fun idea, but then he didn't even do it. So it's like, okay, well, no credit is due to you any longer.
He's sort of like Barry Lyndon in a way. You know, he's always like, I demand respect, but then he does stuff where you're like, that was lame. Or, you know, I don't want to be too mean. And he's like, I'll duel you if you say I'm lame. Like, do you want to duel? Like, you know what I mean? He's kind of like that, almost like too chivalrous.
He's thin-skinned.
Yeah, and a little thin-skinned. Barry Lyndon famously, obviously, he challenged 3 or 4 people to a duel, and a couple times he blew it. And then, and Madison goes, well, guess what? Austin said a bunch of shit that you said, and Sally was pissed off. She said, she just relaying, and he goes, I'm sorry that happened, you know? And she goes, well, what about, Sally was pissed because of all the flirtatious shit that you were doing. And I got to look at this text, because Madison goes, if you weren't being flirtatious, then what the hell was that text? And then I looked at it again, and Sally goes, I should have stayed. That would have been so fun. And he goes, yeah, you could have stayed if you wanted to. And it didn't seem, once he explained, he said, I just was being nice at the end of it, because she kind of stayed there after the hot tub and hugged me for a little too long, and I said goodbye to her. So then we just texted, and I didn't know what to say when she said I should have stayed there. I was just trying to be nice. What did you think about that, coming from Craig's side of things?
I mean, yeah, I originally read it as quite sexy back and forth. But then the way he explained it was then embarrassing. Like she thought we were flirting, but I was just trying to put her down easy.
Yeah, it really was. If you look at those texts in both ways, you can almost see it in both lights. She goes, should have stayed, and he goes, haha. He goes, you could have stayed if you want. A big crying laughing emoji. So you don't know. And he goes, I never wanted Sally. I never was interested
This
in
is
her.
so bleak that he has to keep saying it over and over again. He's like, I've never been attracted to her. I don't like her. I've never liked her. There's someone else I have a crush on that I much prefer. I don't know why she would ever think I would touch her with a 10-foot pole.
But do you believe him or not believe him?
I think he probably I will give him benefit of the doubt when he talks about it later, the way that he's like, I was just single for the first time in so long and was feeling fancy free. So I think he wanted to have his cake and eat it too a little bit, where he was flirting with her. Like he was,
Yeah.
but he was doing it in what he thought was just like in a harmless way that he could do with anyone. And then she was like, all right, let's double down. He was like, actually not, which is okay. But it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, for Sally, or
Yeah.
that he keeps saying stuff like that. Yeah, and then he says right to Madison, which her ears started to burn on fire, metaphorically. He goes, I met Charlie and I have a crush on her. She's the one who blew my socks off. And Madison's like, oh my God, Craig just told me exclusively, full blown in his, like, direct from the source, I have a crush on Charlie. So he's kind of tired of Sally interfering with what he thinks should be a clear road to start trying to date Charlie, because he's interested in her. And this episode, the rest of it, is kind of like him and Charlie both defining how to have a clear runway for takeoff for them and their relationship without Sally hindering it in any way.
Right. It seems cursed from the start. There's too much pressure on it already. Like,
I think they're still dating.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I just think it.
Oh, okay.
I think I want to start making predictions.
Okay.
Austin and Sally are dating now, and Charlie and Craig are dating.
Okay.
Is there any contrary to that?
Well, I'm trying to think of the timeline. This is after he dated the Margaritaville heiress or whatever her name was.
Yes, he kicked the Margarita heiress to the curb. He said, who was it? Yeah, Jimmy Buffett's daughter or something.
Yeah, her name was like Natalie Buffett, no relation, but we're gonna run with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I him and Charlie together is not intriguing to me whatsoever. It's like Dud City, but
really,
whatever.
Oh my God. I okay. You think it's like watching paint dry, seeing them interact?
Yeah, it's like he needed a brighter star to hitch his wagon to, and it's not happening that way.
Oh my God! All right, well, let's see. I don't know. I'm still, the jury's still out.
She's cute. She's like, she's very good looking. But she's, is she like center diamond? I don't think so.
Oh my God. All right. Okay. Well, you heard it here first. I can't believe this. Well, okay. Next up is Molly and Charlie. I thought this scene.
The hell is this?
Yeah, this felt like a bygone era of like a bad.
0.1 for Charlie sucking at this.
Yeah. Well, because it just felt like one of those tropes where we don't know how to get two people together. Let's go do some random shit like put hot glue gun stuff on a picture.
Yeah, they
frame.
Basically were like at Color Me Mine, but it was stained glass, which actually I've been getting a lot of TikToks about taking a stained glass class, and I am interested. But yeah, basically all we learn here is that Charlie doesn't consider herself creative whatsoever, despite working in the art industry.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, I'm not creative in the least, but I like to sell art. And I was like, how fun.
Right. Yeah, I had thought about that too. I was just like, I would feel very sad to like have to admit that to myself. Like I am
I
not a
know.
creative
It's like
person.
creativity is
Yeah.
of the spirit and the soul. Like
Yeah.
you have to be creative in some fashion.
Yeah. Like I would keep striving to figure out what avenue I might be creative in. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah, like you said, like there's so many outlets to show your creativity. I wouldn't say that about yourself. Like I
No.
wouldn't declare yourself a non-creative person. And I liked that stained glass shit that she was starting. There was like a huge glass next to this other hue, and I was like, that's a good start.
Good job. I used to have a poster in my childhood bedroom that was a cat in a paint bucket and it had paint on its face and it said, "I'm not messy, I'm creative."
That That is so cool. Was that sort of the logical next step after the cat got down off the hanging wire and
Yeah.
said, hang in there, baby?
Yeah, they're like, I hung in there and now I'm just trying to get through the day.
That is so sweet. Charlie, don't listen. I hope Charlie didn't listen to Turtle Time today, but don't say that you're not creative and that you only explore art because you like the financial part of it or whatever. You want to be close to art, but you don't feel creative because you don't know. Maybe you haven't tapped into your creative spirit, but I didn't really understand anything about this sit down because I don't even know if Molly and Charlie know each other.
No.
And I really feel bad for Molly. I feel like they're setting her
Yeah.
up for failure being in these scenes. Like,
I agree.
Molly, do you want to go to stained glass class with Charlie? She's like, that's the call sheet? What the hell is this?
Yeah. It's like diminishing returns, thankless tasks because she obviously has nothing in common with her. There wasn't anything funny. She had to support her because at one point Charlie starts crying about being stressed about Sally's feelings being hurt about her dating Craig, and Molly's like, "Oh no, like they're there." And it's like she doesn't even care at all.
Yeah, and Molly was only there to reiterate what Charlie's mom said in the FaceTime last week about how you have the right to pursue anyone you want and Sally be damned. Molly, who is not a Sally fan, is saying that exact advice and talking about how shitty Sally was to Vanita and how she ignored her feelings, so why can't Charlie do the same? That's the entire premise of this scene. So it's not only a repeat of something we've already seen, but it was kind of just inherently not a fun scene at all, seeing them two. They didn't really have a lot of chemistry together.
We need Molly with, it's like more fun to watch Molly with freaking Corey. At least there was some pizzazz there.
Yeah, you like Molly. Molly is a very fun cast member, and she's a bright shining light of all of the new cast additions. She was wonderful last season. You can't tee her up with this garbage and like expect her to yield a great season. Like there needs to be something done because I think Molly is wonderful and she hasn't really had besides what you just said, like the premiere, she was kind of great, but other than that, we're not seeing a lot of new aspects of Molly this season.
No, it's disappointing. We get a little more Rodrigo in this episode because the big party is surrounding him. And he's still decorating Shep's new house. And what did you think about this? He's going to use a upcycled opium bed from China for Shep's coffee table.
Thank you. You knew I loved this. Yes.
Do you think that's bullshit?
Yeah. I thought it was they just say stuff and, but I have so many questions. First of all, is it an opium bed because you have to be on opium to think it's comfortable as a bed? You know what I mean? Because it's not, it's a coffee table or it's really hard wood, right?
Right.
But I guess you could imagine that maybe it had a sheet on it or something. But then I wanted to ask, what does upcycled mean?
Like put to a new use.
Oh.
Like they turned it from an opium bed to a coffee table.
Oh, okay. I've never heard that before. I've heard of recycled, but upcycled. New use for something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what did you think when you saw this?
I think it actually looks cool. Like I could see that it would look nice in a beachy environment. But yeah, I was curious about its origins because it was, how much did it say it was? I forgot to write it down. But it was like, it was a lot. Yeah,
4,000.
So hopefully it does. I mean, I don't know. I said hopefully it has that history, but I'm like, is that history that you want? I don't know.
I don't know. Would you want? I mean, I don't want to. For any opium heads, I don't want to say anything. I was like, I don't know. Would I love the legacy of an opium bed? I was kind of wondering, when did opium had a huge moment because I've seen the Nick. It's like the early in like the 1900. it was, I think, huge. They were going to, but like we must have outlawed it, right? We now we have opioids, I guess, right? That's our new form of opium, right? We outlawed it at some point, right? And now it's just in
Yeah,
pharmaceuticals.
it's a real problem still.
Okay. All right. Yeah, of course. Well, okay. Well, that's so it's so interesting. And I think Shep hears about this later in the episode and he goes, What'd you say it was? And he goes, It upcycled opium bed from China. And he goes, Oh, get that ASAP in my house. So I think Rodrigo did a good job.
Charge me, charge it. But yeah, so Rodrigo is standing up for Austin. He's chatting with his fiance and he's like, I don't believe any of this bullshit about Austin cheating in New York or whatever. He goes, but he should be straightforward with Audrey. It sounds like basically everyone is circling him at this point. Like Madison thinks so, Craig and Shep thinks so, his sister thinks so. Everyone's like, please, if you're not interested, you have to let her free. So that's very much on the tip of everyone's tongue in this episode. And it feels like any episode now that relationship will likely end.
Yeah, everyone thinks that it should end almost. They know how Austin talks about her, or that he's not fully into it, and so they're saying let her go. Speaking of Austin's sister, we go in this next scene to Santee's, which looked awesome. I looked it up because I was like, holy shit, another new place in Charleston that I've never seen before that looks this cool.
Good
and
reviews.
Austin's having the time of his life. He goes, I love this place. He goes, queso, salsa, and a margarita, please, ASAP. And then he's with Katie, his sister, and they have a beautiful, meaningful discussion first about how they got these matching tattoos to honor their sister, Kyle, which we know about this.
I know. I was thinking, I texted you and Megan about this, but I was like, I hope that this tender storyline about this horrible thing that happened in their life and how sensitive and tragic and heartfelt it is brings everyone to re-pick up their pitchforks and aim them at the Vials, because it's like really bad timing for them, as they have not apologized yet, for people to be reminded how sad it was and how nice he was about how mean they were.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Are people, I kind of dropped off from that story. I saw it originally and I said, well, that makes sense. But when they did that, but are people clamoring for an apology now and it just hasn't come? Okay.
Yeah. I think even what's her name, Cameron, made a comment that they should apologize. And then I think Leva did too. I keep seeing, I think Queens of Bravo, I bring them up every week, but that's who rounds up everything for me to see. But she's not dropping this, and which I feel like is a powerful torchbearer. So everyone is hoping that they will apologize. But yeah, this I'm glad that I like when they bring it up. It doesn't feel like exploitative. It feels they're following that they got these tattoos that I have always wanted to do. And it was really sweet. He was talking about how his sister Katie, who's super close with, they have like a very sweet relationship. He said that she would never be here without the death of Kyle, because I think they were always probably just gonna have 2 kids, and then after she died they were like, we will try to have another. And so he was like, I have my angel sister and my devil sister here on Earth, which I thought was really sweet. It just seems like they have a really great relationship. And I think next week he has a heart-to-heart with his mom about, she's like, please have kids. Don't be a Peter Pan forever. And I'm very charmed by their entire family. And they seem so healthy that it's kind of surprising to me, outside of his obvious trauma about this horrendous thing that is, probably just haunts him, that's a possibility on Earth, that something like that could happen. But I'm kind of surprised that he's so terrified of having a family when his family seems really cool.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I loved this scene together. It was so sweet, and I loved Austin talking about it so openly. And you can tell that they just have a very sweet relationship. And then, like we already mentioned before, Katie starts to talk about Audrey, and she loves Audrey. Like, she really thinks she's great, but she, I guess, knows her brother well enough to know that he might not have his full heart in this. And so she basically gives the same advice as everybody is giving. If you're not fully into it after a year and a half, I think you need to let her go. And then that's when Austin says that a tough conversation is coming very soon. So teeing us up for what he's going to say to Audrey.
Yeah, she's like, why aren't you gung-ho? And he says that he feels like he's enjoying his time on Earth while a meteor is headed any minute. And that, I think, is truly coming maybe next week. Vanita and her mom...
Well, it was, I mean, great. Nice to meet Vanita's mom. Vanita orders a flight of drinks, and her mom orders a non-alcoholic pina colada. The mom asks, how's your love life going? And Vanita says, don't ask me that. I'm having trouble with Sally. Sally and I are having a huge friendship hiccup. And Vanita goes, I told her that, if she started dating this person, that I wouldn't be there, a shoulder for her to cry on. And her mom goes, that's really mean. And Vanita's like, how so? She goes, you should be a shoulder for your friend to cry on. I believe my friendship philosophy is that a friend is a friend regardless. And what I did like about this scene is that it actually leads to, I think, Vanita reassessing her relationship with Sally in that later scene at the engagement party. Mm-hmm. She seems to be trying her best to get back with Sally as a friend. So maybe her mom actually was bestowing good advice there. I mean, that's the philosophy of friendship that I believe in, what the mom said.
Right. Were they at Leva's restaurant or drink house? Or is there another like pina colada counter place?
You might be right. I love the idea. I love a place called Drink House.
Drink House.
Kind of cool. Next up, Next up, Shep and Rod. Shep is calling Rod in the car, and he goes, call Rod, please. And then I think his phone started to call the other Rod from...
oh my God, remember him?
Yeah, of course I do. From the other season, he goes, hang up now. He goes, the other Rod. And this is when, I don't know if this scene really requires a lot, but he goes, hey, give me that opium bed that we talked about. And he goes, I loved Cuba, by the way. And he goes, I have no place to stay now because I'm renting out one of my houses, and my other houses the new house doesn't have a coffee table yet, so I'm going to go stay at Craig's. And then he basically drives to Craig in this next scene.
He said during the summer he gets anywhere between $700 and $1,200 a night for his little place, which I wonder what percentage of people that stay there know that it's Shep's house.
Oh, I bet a lot. Yeah, I bet that's a fun fact when you get in there and you're like, holy shit, I recognize this place. Wow, it's so, I mean, Shep just makes money, all the time. It's just like
his mailbox money.
Total mailbox money. And then he gets into Craig's house. Craig is making steaks. And they say how far we've come from that shitty barbecue that we had that one time 5 seasons ago. And then they show the clip. And that's one of my favorite episodes of Southern Charm of all time. They do it in real time with timestamps of them not being able to grill all that food. And it takes forever, and they're fighting and bickering. It's such a fun episode.
Yeah, I remember that. He's then explaining all of the Sally drama and everything that's happened, and that he's going to take out Charlie, and how Charlie's worried about what Sally will say. And Shep is like, Sally kind of has ownership over Charlie, like her behavior, kind of the way that you were with Austin all of those years. And Shep also defends Craig's right to charm Sally without considering it flirting. He's like, that's just Craig's personality, and it gets him in trouble because he's just friendly.
Yeah, he likes to just talk and say stuff, and people confuse that. Yeah, I wouldn't really know. Even seeing Craig flirt with I can't really analyze flirting anyway, no matter what, but like even seeing Craig talk to Charlie, I'm not like so sure that that's like the biggest flirting energy I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Besides him asking her on a date is implies, I guess, that he's being flirtatious. But I think it's really up for debate how much Sally was led on by Craig at this point. Okay, next up, it's the engagement party of the century for Rodrigo, and it's hearkening back to their being proposed to, them becoming engaged in Greece, and Santorini on the stairs that we saw, not the stairs, I don't know if they were actually on those stairs, but Santorini, now I'll know that forever because I watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, that city that they're in. So so their party is that full theme.
Yes,
Greek
everyone
themed.
dressed in their Greek whites. We also see Audrey and Austin getting ready at his house, and she's pissed off because he's like, how are you going to feel seeing Craig and Shep and everybody? And she's like, Craig has no idea what our relationship is like. He makes it look like I have my head in the sand, which I don't. It's, he doesn't. I don't know him at all. Like, I don't know why he has so many opinions about our relationship, which I kind of like. She was a little sassier than I anticipated. Did you also notice that he has Chris Farley artwork in his bathroom?
Yes, I recognized it immediately. I was like, it was like, what's that called? Like pop art of Chris Farley. It was really, really cool. And then she says that Austin is too forgiving of Craig, that Craig treats Austin like shit, and then he'll still pick up his phone calls. She's like, I don't know why you're like that. But in a way, I mean, Craig and Madison and everyone, they're all saying the same thing about Audrey behind her back. Like, they all kind of do know more as a peek into Austin's psychology than she does at this point, Yeah. I mean, he's holding back from telling her the truth, that he's not as into this.
Yeah, it seems like it irks Craig the most. Like, he's always like, it is not chivalrous, like you were saying, for this is inappropriate. And it's like, all right, well, get over it. It's not your problem.
Right. And he goes, well, wait till you see this party because Craig is going to be put through the ringer here with everybody. This Sally shit, you're going to love it. And then we go to the party and everyone is shocked that it was outdoors. Everyone kept saying it. I was like, I was like,
must be hot as hell.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I would just always, I guess we come from a different frame of mind here, but they were just like, oh my God, they're like the bugs. And so they're like, I would have worn something different than a linen shirt and linen pants. Like, what else could you have done? It's like, I don't know. It didn't seem that crazy to me, but they were pissed. There were bugs flying in people's mouths and up their noses. And
Shep forgot his sunglasses, which to me is devastating. Like, I would go home and come back.
Really?
I can't live without sunglasses.
Oh yeah, you told me about. I forget when we were talking about sun. Really recently, I'm not like that. I never wear sunglasses outside, even if the sun is shining right in my eyes.
I have a very low tolerance. You must protect your eyeballs.
I know. It's so dumb of me. It's like I'm so scared of everything, but I don't care about looking into the sun for 5 minutes at a time.
They get burned.
I don't understand my philosophy on health and well-being. Madison, and then like we said, tittering is going around of people going, why the hell is Audrey here? You should hear the way he talks shit about her. Like when we got that crab broil, he was basically on the cusp saying he was bored as hell. So everyone is kind of like saying that about it. It's the chatter of the party.
Yes. Shep is also like, I wonder if she knows all the shit that he's been saying, like at Patricia's dinner where he's like, no wedding bells anywhere in sight, not even with binoculars, no intentions whatsoever with that. Also, Whitney rolls up. First of all, he has an Elvis nameplate belt. Of course.
So cool. And we know the history of this. Patricia commented on Turtle Time one time and told us that they're both the biggest Elvis fans in the world, and they got a bonanza of memorabilia at this big Elvis auction in Graceland one time. And so they are just up to their eyes, or what do you say? Up to their
ears?
Up to their ears in Elvis stuff. And this buckle is proof that this is true. It's awesome to wear a big Elvis belt like that.
Did you hear that there's a Baz Luhrmann Elvis concert doc coming out any day?
No way. Really? Wait. What does that mean? A companion piece to the Elvis film that we saw with Austin Butler? Or it's from archival footage of actual Elvis?
Actual Elvis.
Whoa.
Let me see. Baz Luhrmann Elvis doc. I know that they're doing it in IMAX. It's called like Elvis Live.
Oh my God. I know who's getting a front row seat to that. Patricia and Whitney.
Yeah.
Right?
Epic Elvis Presley in concert.
That's going to be so cool. I started watching that Netflix documentary about that comeback special where he says that song, he sings that song, I Can Dream. It seemed really cool because he was like really out of practice and he was sweating and he didn't know what the hell he was doing anymore. So I'd be very intrigued. We need to get Elvis fever back. We were having fun 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. It was better. And then remember, what's her name from Southern Charm was also an Elvis head.
I'll never forget when that cast member was absolutely having an Elvis time.
Wait,
of
what
course.
the hell is her name?
Who can forget? Of course. No. Yeah. We don't even know. Everybody knows. Number one Elvis fan over there.
She dated Austin.
Of course.
She got engaged and then unengaged.
Yeah. I mean,
recently.
it's obvious. I mean, everyone knows. We don't even have to say it. So, and he comes in looking like Elvis, like we said. It's like, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
He should have, what if they had gotten the rights to him to do a live version of an Elvis song? At that bar, we'd be talking about this episode differently if it was the first time they used like really expensive music.
That would have been major. But he's such a bumbling fool. He comes up to Madison. He goes, are you guys going to do a gender reveal? And Austin goes, are you insane?
Yeah.
And they roll the clip of present after present at the party that was at his mom's house. Pink dresses, like they already know the name. She was like, it's a girl.
Yeah, and they show the edit of not Elvis, sorry, of Patricia giving a big a dress from the Duchess of Windsor, where she was like, this is from the Duchess or whatever. It's like it was so clearly a dress. They also show Venita try her best to get back into Sally's world by hugging Sally and going, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I miss you. And Sally kind of treats her like shit. You barely, this is like a fly on the wall edit. She goes, you're stepping on my dress, bitch. And I was like, oh my God, the energy difference here. Venita really came hat in hand after her mom's advice to try to get back and be sweet to Sally. And Sally was like, I'm not fucking with you anymore, and leaves Venita. Like in that moment, that was kind of shocking to me. Sally is like, the bridge has been burned. It's going to take a lot more than that for Venita to get back in her life. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's awkward. Also, Sally's wearing a very revealing dress. I feel like everyone dressed a little bit scantily for this. I was like, it's not your engagement, but whatever. And so then Charlie says to Craig, hey, you should go talk to Sally. It would make me feel better. And he's like, are you telling me that if I talk to her that we can go out and it'll be fine? And she's like, yes. And he's like, all right, fine then. So then he walks over to Sally and Madison and he's like, I'm coming hat in hand. I want to talk about what I guess happened at the sleepover or whatever. Madison is like, this is awkward as fuck. And they kind of get into it. And she's like, why did you write me off? Austin told me you said all this horrible shit. And they show him saying that Craig called her that she has a tornado with a path of destruction. And then it cuts over to Venita sort of like looking at their conversation. And she goes, we hate you, Craig.
Yeah. She's like, we hate you. Don't even try over there. And this is when Craig declares, he declares Austin as an enemy. He goes, you knew what you were doing when you consulted with my enemy. He is my pure enemy. And that you can't trust anything that comes out of an enemy's mouth. You know how he treats me. So he's really saying he's backing away from that our friendship is over claim, even though he did sort of say it, but I don't think he meant it. And trying to say that Austin twisted his words because he's sort of a nefarious player in Craig's life, always rooting and wishing for his downfall behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah. He's like, how could you trust his words over mine? And you know how bad he treats me. And she's like, okay, fine. She's like, she believes him or at least acts like she does. And he's like, it was a true misunderstanding. And she's like, okay. But then she says like, she narcs on him completely to Austin later.
One funny moment really quickly is that Craig and Shep are looking out at what Audrey and Austin are doing. And Austin takes a photo of himself. And he goes, holy fucking shit, I look like I have a toupee. Oh my God, what the hell? I've got a toupee on in this photo. Holy shit. Pookie, God, did you see that photo I took? I was like, what the hell? And then Shep and Craig are just watching that interaction happen. It was sort of interesting. And then Shep goes, hey, I got a big party bus for you all to go to this island bar. And this bus was cool. They do what you do when you get on a party bus when you're drunk. Everyone gets a fun entrance to dance, through the aisles. Yeah. Have you done this?
A conga line, maybe?
Yeah, stuff like that. Or like when you get on and people cheer or sing songs. It was really fun, but it was so quick, that edit. It was like 1 minute. And then they were already at this very vibrant bar.
Yeah.
People are
It
screaming.
felt like they I think Shep really wanted to go to this place because I don't know if we said, but uh Rodrigo lives near where Shep is going to live at his new house. So I think he had a hot spot that he wanted to take everyone to, which seemed like somewhere he actually liked, which wasn't particularly filming friendly, which added to the authenticity, but you could
Yes.
tell that they really had to like mess with the sound
Oh,
and everyone was screaming and you're like, production was probably in hell, but it was fun to watch.
it was. It felt real, like you just said. It really felt like, oh, this is a place that they would just go and show up after hours of drinking, and it felt very fun. How chaotic it was. Whitney goes, they go, Whitney, you should get up there and rip it up. And he goes, don't mind if I do. And he starts fucking shredding. It was so cool. He looked like, who's the guitarist of Led Zeppelin? Not Robert Plant? Jimmy Page. He looked like Jimmy Page up there. And everybody's like, oh my God, Whitney is fucking awesome. And then Audrey goes to Austin, goes, guess what? Sally's been ignoring me like the plague all night. She goes past me 3 times and won't even look at me. And Austin goes, Sally did that? You're talking about Sally? And then he goes up to get a drink and he goes, Sally. He goes, Sally sells seashells by the seashore. And they have this full moment of like hugging and talking for an extended period of time about the Craig conversation, leaving Audrey there to be like, holy shit, I just told you that Sally's been ignoring me. And now you're having a 5-minute drunken conversation with her while leaving me with no one to talk to. You know, it would piss you off.
Yeah. He's being very loosey-goosey. She's like, Craig denied all the shit that you told me he said. And he's like, wow. And also she goes, he called you his enemy. And he's like, wow, he said that? Wow. And he goes, well, I don't fucking care. We don't have a podcast anymore. I don't give a shit what he thinks about me. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot about the podcast part.
Beers and pillows. I was kind of like, I wondered why why those episodes hadn't been in my feed in a while. They scrapped it.
Damn.
That's going on the pile of forgotten podcasts now. You know what I mean? They gave it up. I thought it was great, but it could have been huge, but they couldn't get it together, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's definitely bordering on inappropriate the way they're acting, especially since his girlfriend is right there and he's just not hanging out with her. And Sally's like, your girlfriend probably hates me. And he's like, no. And then he goes, actually, I'm drunk. I'm going to stop talking because he knows in his state that he's going to get himself in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And then Craig is talking to Charlie at the other end of the bar. And he goes, what do you think Audrey thinks about Austin and Sally being belly to belly at the bar?
Yeah.
And they're sort of commenting on this. And then I think Audrey does a flyby, and then the episode ends with them having a conversation with a lot of gesticulating, where she's definitely ripping him a new asshole.
Yeah, the gesticulating was on another level. Hands up, hands back and forth. Every kind of huge move you can make during a fight. So I don't know if it was to be continued, but we really could get, seeing what the hell was going on there.
Yes.
I guess it's kind of like, how they keep some relationships demises a secret to make it, more shocking. It's kind of interesting to know that this one's going to fizzle out because it makes all of their sort of interactions more interesting, knowing like, oh, this is going to fail. We're going to see this happen. So they're going to fight. And that's what I think the last, 15 minutes of this were kind of classic Southern charm. I was having so much fun.
Yeah, next week we get the much anticipated and I'm sure just stunning oyster date between Craig and Charlie.
I can't wait. Well, I can't wait to see what they each put on their oysters in terms of, those 3 or 4 items you could put. What
like
it's
the
like
vinaigrette, the horseradish, the hot sauce.
Do you do all of them?
I'll do like a little of each.
Me too. I
lemon.
If I'm thinking about my oyster shucking order, I do the full thing. I get out the seawater. I pour out the seawater so there's none of that, and then I do little hint of lemon, horseradish, and then that one dab of whatever the hot sauce is. And
a mignonette.
Do you remember Mess Hall?
One.
They would sell you Yeah, of course. They would sell you the oysters that were, I forget, Tuesday was oyster day. It was like right before they were going to go bad. I used to get so many of them. You can get like 24 oysters for $24.
It's the right amount.
Yeah, great. So,
all right. Well, yeah, next week, oyster date. And then I think Craig and Austin yell at each other.
really?
Yeah.
They need to repair this. I always say this as a remedy for everything, but they need to go on an ayahuasca trip together, and they need to learn what they love about each other again. They need to rebuild this friendship, because I know they love each other, but it's just gotten so contentious. They have a rivalry. They like one up each other.
A heated rivalry.
They have a heated rivalry. They've started to not respect each other anymore. So I'm excited to see what next it can't get much worse, unless they fought or something like physically. Yeah. But anyway, all right, well, let's shove off. Let's take a certified turtle piss break, and we'll be back with the other shit that we talk about. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
We're back.
We're back. I've crossed the coast, reporting live from New Orleans.
Oh my gosh. If you are watching on YouTube, which I don't know who does, but you're seeing the craziest shit of your life for these 3 segments of Turtle Time. I couldn't even imagine.
Street rushing behind me.
Oh, it is so cool. How is the Big Easy so far?
It's good. I've had very little time so far. This is my first, I got in at night, but I am looking forward to tonight. Our hotel has $2 shuck oysters.
Really?
It's true.
$2 per oyster?
I think so.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good. You could eat 8 of them and spend $16, right? That's not bad.
Yeah, and there are, I'll keep you updated on what the other deals are.
I would love to know.
I'm actually away from all the action. Hollywood is where it's at this morning. You're listening to this possibly on Friday, but Thursday morning, I don't know why we're acting like we didn't already do the news, but there's been news since we last recorded. And I just wanted to shout out Ethan Hawke Blue Moon Oscar nomination.
Holy shit. I have not even really looked at these yet. Let me see how I can pull these up. That is huge for Ethan Hawke. That was my favorite performance of the year, is him as Lorenz Hart.
Yeah, it got a original screenplay as well.
No way.
Yeah.
I am so proud of Blue Moon for people didn't want to revel in Blue Moon at all when it came out, except you and I and a few other people. And I feel like this was what it deserved a little bit. I'm glad that the Oscars thought about it in a way like this.
Yeah, Begonia Hive is eating also. Sorry. Blue
Begonia
Moon
Hive is eating?
But it is though. That's why I was distracted, because I was going to say, shockingly, Begonia Hive is eating as much as or more than Blue Moon.
Begonia Hive is eating. Let me see these. Okay, I'm at the official page now. Okay. All right, actor in a leading role. There's no one that I wouldn't expect to be here, except I'm so proud of Ethan Hawke for being among these nominees of Leonardo DiCaprio. So that's huge. What about the Secret Agent nomination? How do we feel about that?
That's one that I still need to see.
Okay.
So TBD for me on that one. I heard it's good though.
Okay.
And then, as predicted, Sean Penn is in there, to your dismay, for
really in the best
role.
support. Wow, really? Wow, they're really giving Oscars away for anything. Oh my God, that is so crazy. I wonder I really want to see them elaborate on what they loved about that performance. I liked how evil he was, and when he looked like a big burnt alive corpse at the end with his eye missing. That is shocking.
Well, I don't know. At first, I thought he was certainly going to win. He still might, because the Oscars never really surprise. They usually go with what you think, and so they love him. And they nominated Emma Stone. I never thought she'd be on this list, but they can't get enough of her. We should have known.
Well, her performance is wonderful in Begonia. Say what you will about the film, but Emma Stone really.
I know, but it's she's won twice. Leave us alone. Go away.
Oh my God. I don't know. I think that I think that if someone is continually pulling off wonderful...
They're just obsessed with all the old ass voters want to have sex with her.
That's what you think?
That's what I think.
All the old voters of the Oscars want to have sex with Emma Stone so bad?
Begonia. No one talked about Begonia. No one. That was not supposed to be nominated 4 times.
But if we use that justification, then you'd be saying, get the hell, Blue Moon the hell out of here, which we don't want.
But that's like, Yorgos and Emma have had their moment. Like, I'm ready to move on.
Oh my God. No, I don't believe that Oscars should be just moments in the sun for a second. And then you say, we've already given them that spotlight. Now we move it away if they continue to do amazing things. What if you justified that with Leonardo DiCaprio? Be like, hey, he's had enough.
But he hasn't. He like is very underserved at the Oscars historically.
But I don't know. I mean, how many really has he had, though? I mean, he's had nominations.
Emma
in the past,
Stone has
right?
won more times than Leonardo DiCaprio.
All right, well, that's insane. Okay, we'll give him the spotlight still. I thought that Emma Stone, I haven't seen just Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. I haven't seen Rose Byrne, and if I had legs, I'd kick the shit out of you.
You haven't seen any of the other movies.
I haven't seen Kate Hudson, but I believe when I watch Begonia that Emma Stone is on a frequency unmatched and unrivaled by almost any contemporary. There's no other person that I think could have pulled off that Begonia role, just like I thought there was no other actor that could have pulled off the Poor Things role ever in the history of the world. So I think that still needs to be. I don't know what the Oscars are for. You and I debating this, even it just calls into question the fallacy of this entire concept of what a garbage process this is to sort of just like shine a spotlight on random movies throughout the year.
Yeah, it's very silly, but it's fun nevertheless.
Right.
No, hold on. I'm going to do Control F, J. Kelly. I think it's going to say 0.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
Damn it! Really? I wanted to have my J. Kelly cheesecake at the party. That's
too bad. That's someone named John Kelly was nominated, but that's not J. Kelly, obviously. And then we have to say Sinners got the record-breaking most Oscar nominations in history with 16.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Casting. This is interesting for someone who has been a casting director in the past. Casting. This is the first time I think casting has ever had Oscar nominations. Hamnet.
That's huge for your community.
This is huge for me personally. Sinners obviously got nominated. That's one of the 16. Secret Agent. I haven't seen it or heard of it. One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, Hamnet. So pretty much consistent with the Best Picture nominees. They're just like, hey, this is great casting as well.
Marty Supreme had like wild casting, so that could be a fun one. Like they really ate.
They ate?
Like they pulled from small corners and did surprising people. Like Penn Jillette has a serious role. What's his name? Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank.
Oh my. Frankenstein got a lot. More than J. Kelly.
They love Guillermo, don't they?
Yeah, they love him.
Love that. You know what I would give an Oscar?
What?
This week's Beverly Hills episode.
Really? Do you want to switch over?
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Let's talk for a second now, please, about Beverly Hills. It was called Star Signs and Bad Times. And you really, when you hear bad times, those two words, you know who was having the worst time in this episode based off if you've seen it before. Amanda.
Yes. Rough subject matter for her. It's sad.
Yeah. So immediately you have to say that we didn't know this about Amanda. We've been talking shit as Turtle Time and as the world. We were like, oh, a new villain has graced our presence. And we were like, Amanda, oh my God, what a foil. She's going nuts. She's being horrible. Like, let's make fun of her for her manifesting money. And then, what is this, 5 episodes in, they give us the most tragic, horrific thing that any human being could ever suffer through. And then it's kind of like they pulled the rug out from under us, being like, hey, you need to feel deep empathy for Amanda. And then they do that same rug pull on the cast of Beverly Hills in the moment, because none of them had any clue that this was going on either. So it's almost like the audience and the cast members experienced the same tragedy that Amanda suffered through at the exact same time. And it made that final 15 minutes really interesting.
Yeah.
I would say.
I watched it on the airplane on the way here, and I was emoting throughout. I mean, I did have a few Pinot Grigios, but I was at certain points not about her story, but laughing. I was covering my mouth in shock at certain times. I was really feeling this episode, I have to say, especially because it began with Rachel luxury vintage shopping, which if you're a fan of the Rachel Zoe project, that means everything to you because that's all you ever wanted to see her do was go expensive vintage shopping. They had her do it in every city she was ever in, either in LA at home or New York or Paris or wherever. And it was always the greatest thing ever. So I love that they gave us that because they know we've been waiting. I know you've been waiting.
I was waiting. I liked it. I didn't know that this was, red meat for the Zoe heads, but I did like the idea of her being in her element, showing off like her knowledge. Like she goes, "That's 80s, 90s," and the guy goes, "Oh my God, yes, those decades definitely had something to do with this kind of fashion." And then she was wearing cool stuff, that cropped Chanel jacket that you noticed for $5,000. That looked really cool. She was kind of swirling around and
in her element.
Totally in her element completely in this scene. And so I can see why that really hit something for you, seeing her do that.
And Bose meets up with her. Bose's storyline throughout this episode is her egg retrieval journey, which I'm just going to say that it's stressing me out. Like I'm worried about that. I'm wishing her the best on that journey, but I'm like, it's bringing me stress, and I still don't know what to feel about her relationship with that guy Keeley. Like, I'm like, is he worth this? This is a lot of work on your end, but so more to come there. And they also talk shit about Amanda while they're shopping. Rachel, I'm like, Rachel is really good at this. More than I expected. She tees it up. She goes, on the Sedona trip, I'm a wing it person, as you know. And it seems like Amanda needs everything laid out. And Bose was saying, I don't think her bringing up Avi was accidental. And Rachel goes, I don't think anything she does is accidental. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, they're going to rip this bitch apart.
Oh, yeah. They were feasting. They were ripping Amanda apart. Little do they know what's waiting for them when they learn this horrible story. And then Bose goes, well, did you hear about all that shit with that money stuff that she does? Manifesting money? And Rachel so goes, no, what the hell are you talking about? Bose goes, that's her whole shit. Manifesting stuff. She loves manifesting. And she wrote a book called Rich as Fuck. And Rachel Zoe is hearing this for the first time about that aspect of Amanda.
I love Rachel appears to have a new tagline where she keeps saying, am I okay?
Oh, that's
which
cool.
I kind of want to adopt. Like, she goes, I thought that she does like affirmations. Am I okay? And she's like, yeah, she's basically, Bose is setting up that she's a huckster. And she goes, if I could roll my eyes any harder, I would. Like, what is this chick talking about? So they establish that they think Amanda sucks and her job is fake.
I want to start saying, am I okay? Like Rachel Zoe. Am I okay? I thought I didn't think Blue Moon would get any Oscars nominations. Am I okay?
Are you okay? Is this thing on?
Let's really try to say, am I okay? That's one of the things I really like. I'm not to keep talking about stuff, but I'm a wing it person like Rachel Zoe. If I was in Sedona, I just want the winds and the sunlight to take me around. I don't like having a lot of strong plans. I don't know if you're kind of a hybrid, right?
Hybrid. I like when someone else makes plans and then I follow them.
Yeah. I actually don't. I know I'm not that way. I want the wind to take me anywhere that they can go.
It's just like, it's hard to do that these days because like with restaurants and stuff, it's like, you're never getting in anywhere then if you didn't make a single reservation.
Right.
So then you're just kind of fucked and then you're wandering around and then you just walk in circles and you're like, where do we go?
Yeah.
And then you have to make a lot of decisions in the moment, which overwhelms me.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean?
You don't. Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, I see the side. I see that side of things. And then we go to okay, this is it now. Amanda is having fun with her family. One of the kids is roller skating their ass off, and she goes, "Please don't roller skate that fast." And then Amanda, they're teeing you up to again your preconceived notions of her by her sitting down with her husband, and she goes, guess what Sedona was like? Remember that horrible person that said, boo, you're boring when you drank alcohol? Well, I kind of like her now. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you brought up that moment where Erica said boo for 1 second.
Not worth noting. Like,
and then she goes,
move on.
Yeah, and then she goes, and then I brought up this very normal, easy stuff about Avi being a horrible assistant, talking shit about Sutton, and guess what? She got cold as a fish, and I was like, okay, that was also not how it went, and also that's a situation where you were in the wrong. Anyone could imagine that you were in the wrong, and her husband goes, oh my God. Dead fish alert on Sutton's part. They don't know what kind of person they're working with here. You've got 3 strikes and you're out. So did you hear her story? She brought up a bunch of shit. And the reaction you're mad at is that Sutton just didn't have a reaction or was a little perturbed by bringing that up.
He's like, you get 2 strikes before you cut a bitch down. And she's like, you're not wrong. I also wanted to note her vacation house is in Newport Beach. So maybe they could stick her on OC if everyone here hates her too much.
Really? Oh my God. I think that she's making a little pathway for herself here, you know? I mean, if she continues to be the source of conflict for more episodes, it seems like she is. You know, I think we've talked about this. They haven't had a sort of pure foil like this. Remember Diana Jenkins was sort of this, but it was the worst casting decision in history.
Yeah, she sucked.
She was so bad at it, but like Amanda is actually, come into play in some ways here. And then this is when she tells you, I mean, it's like the saddest thing in the world. Anybody who watched this episode, you'll have already lived with this. But she had a horrible pregnancy with twins where they had to be both an emergency C-section, and only one of those children survived, and they were I think born 11 weeks early. So Kanan spent 11.
3.
Is now 3. He spent 68 days in the NICU. So
yes, and the other twin died at 5 days old, which obviously horrendous, really sad. I was like, well, didn't expect that turn. That will come up again later in a major way. And we get a quick lunch with Doree and her managers. It's not that interesting, except to say that PK was her manager. So now she's focusing on her new era, her new career. She's writing a book to show that PK was her old manager. The proof is that it was his idea to call her swim line Beverly Beach. He was like, call it Beverly Beach.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is exactly how he says it. He goes, don't call it Zara. That already exists. Call it Beverly Beach. And it's so great. But she ended up naming it Beverly Beach, didn't she?
Yes.
So
yes,
she loved
did.
that idea.
She listened. So is her book already out?
Great question. No.
I
don't think so. I think it's on the printing presses right now. But yeah, they say, she goes, I need to work now because I don't, because I need to make money. So put me out there, and let me do a bunch of shit. And they're like, okay, well, the book is a huge deal. So she's celebrating and having fun.
Yes. We get a Kyle and Sutton date. They go to an infrared spa. They joke about Sedona and how it was kind of shitty. And they talk about Kyle narcs out what Tilly said to her about Sutton being all about herself. And that's why Garcelle left. And Sutton is like, God damn it. Like, now I have to deal with this. Why would she bring up Garcelle? Yeah. She said, people bewilder me.
That was so crazy. There was a funny moment too where they were like, I need it to be colder in here because it's so hot, and Kyle started turning up the heat, and it started doing a flashing light, and it started getting hotter and hotter. I was a little scared for a second, but then they were able to turn it off. I didn't really, I know for the show you have to do shit like this, but I didn't really appreciate that Kyle, one of my favorite cast members that I've rallied behind for years, just kind of threw this out. Like, Jennifer Tilly is so bummed when she learns that Kyle did this. You can tell towards the end of the episode that she just like repeated this inflammatory statement that didn't mean anything, a tossed off statement that Jennifer Tilly said when she was just pissed. That I kind of hate that Kyle did this. I know you need it, you need scenes like this, but I was mad at Kyle. It's like,
Right.
that wasn't that you did. I know we need to talk about stuff, but did you really have to throw Tilly under the bus like that? It's
I
kind of
know.
shitty.
Tilly's so flabbergasted when she has to face this later, but luckily Sutton takes it easy on her and it gets resolved pretty quickly. I was like, okay, good. I don't need to see Tilly be upset. I don't want that in my life.
Tilly's so sweet.
Yeah, love her. We get a quick Bose flies to Vegas because that's where the Nevada Fertility Institute is. It's apparently right across from IKEA. I didn't know there was an IKEA in Las Vegas. Good to know.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I didn't know either. That's great to know.
But yeah, she reminds us that she lost her first daughter in pregnancy. Her current living daughter was also preterm, so she does not have a good history. And so now that her daughter's like 20 years old, like it's been a long time. So this is a scary journey in my opinion. But spoiler, at the dinner at the end of the episode, Rachel does report to everyone that Bo's got 2 eggs. So I mean, I don't think that's that many, but
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in that area, but I think you're going to need more than that. But I assume maybe she'll try again because it's like out of the number that you get, only certain are viable, but maybe, I don't know. Anyways, this isn't interesting.
Well,
this
yeah.
isn't.
Well, I mean, it's a huge part of Bose's storyline, but yeah, I don't know either. I just have to take my cues from what the cast say, and they're like, yeah, this is so great, but she's not going to be able to come to dinner. Like you said,
Right.
There's a huge party going on at Rachel Zoe's house called Psychic Summer Party.
Okay.
That's what they call it. And unfortunately, as sometimes happens, there's a major power outage all throughout, I think, Beverly Hills, and it has struck Kathy Hilton. Did it strike Sutton?
No, because Kathy did
goes
her
over
hair
there.
at Sutton's.
So it struck Kathy, and it struck Rachel Zoe. And of all things, Rachel Zoe's having a psychic summer party, so it really affects it. I mean, they have to have basically a candlelit dinner, and the chef has to make stuff only by candlelight.
Right. Fire grilled.
Yeah, fire grilled stuff. But everybody is arriving, and they're kind of like, "What the hell are we, doing here?" And it's like, it's psychic summer. What the hell are you talking about? We have psychic stuff, going on.
Yeah, of course, Kyle does reference the dinner party from hell. Although instead of Alison Dubois, we get this chick, Amanda, who I don't know if you recognized her. She's the tarot reader that predicted Stassi's future children.
No way. I did not notice that. That's amazing.
It's true. Yeah, I didn't clock it. And then when I got here to New Orleans, I watched the episode again. Oops, don't tell anyone that. NDA.
Oh, right.
And my friend was like, that's the Stassi tarot reader.
Whoa, that is awesome. Wow, great. Wow. So if we remember correctly, I mean, that is something that obviously that tarot card reader would not, had to have predicted that out of thin air. I almost was impressed later when the tarot card reader pulls out the money tree card, and it has a figure that looks like Amanda grabbing a bunch of money leaves off a money tree, and she was like, are you good at manifesting? And Amanda goes, holy fucking shit, yes, that's my whole thing. I was like, if you didn't know that Amanda Francis was a cast member, and you just gave her the money tree manifesting card, you are a tarot card reader, one of the best in the world. So the fact that she did that Stassi prediction is pretty great.
Yeah.
Also,
I think people hail that Stassi session as a success because she said you'll have 2 kids, which is true. And I think she got the year right. She was like, you'll be pregnant in 2019 or 2020 or something, which, yeah, I was surprised that I didn't remember, considering we watched that fairly recently, but I did not. Yeah. So yes, we get this new friend of woman named Natalie, who is divorcing Simon Fuller, the creator of Pop Idol, or whatever American Idol is based on. And so she's rich as hell. And she's kind of fun.
Oh, really? So tell me, I didn't get a good sense of her because I felt like she was so overshadowed by the Amanda stuff that was going on. What kind of bits of fun did you see from her?
I don't know. I just felt like having another divorcee in the group could be fun, get everyone else excited. It seemed like everyone liked her is all. but she didn't have too much time to shine. But it sounds like later there's something about her fucking a masseuse in the preview for next week.
Really? That sounds fun. Yeah, it was kind of hard for her to get a little bit of the spotlight during this kind of fraught dinner with huge emotional stakes. I didn't really hear her say very much. And this was kind of the worst introduction, I think, for a friend to get, in a way, but we'll see. I mean, if she's going to have sex with a masseuse at some point, I'm excited to see that. But everybody's arriving. You got to just say everyone is showing up. Rachel Zoe loves Jennifer Tilly's fashion choices. We've heard this before. Remember how covetous Erica was last season?
Yeah.
She goes, I covet all of these goods. And then Rachel Zoe says the same thing. That's the closet I would want to storm if I could have any access to anybody's.
Right.
Did you like what Jennifer Tilly was wearing?
It was fun. The Dior cape, that was worth a pretty penny. I'll tell you that.
And that brooch.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, I hope a diamond or a couple diamonds fall off that thing during this dinner. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yes, she was dripping in jewels. Also, Dorit had a new Hermes Mini Kelly priced at $11,000 because of her celebrating her book deal. And they all go, book deal, book deal, book deal. And Erica, because she's written a book herself, I think it's The Pretty Mess. Am I correct in that? That's what her book is called?
Oh, yeah.
She goes, have you selected a co-author? And Dorit's like, yes, I have. It's a mother-daughter duo. And Amanda's like, is that like a ghostwriter? And I was like, okay, Aviva. And Dorit's like, well, yeah, a co-author is a ghostwriter. And she goes, weird. I just sat down and wrote my book. Like, I just wrote it.
Yeah. Again, you feel the sympathy for Amanda, but then she says something like that. If you didn't know the tragedy that had befallen their family.
I mean, having a tragedy doesn't mean you get to be a total bitch.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's really testing my empathy radar in a way, because that was just a clear-cut example of being sort of mean and saying something that those braggadocious statements that she's done already for the last 3 or 4 episodes, and it strikes everyone badly here. She's bragging, and she's also kind of talking shit about Dorit, the fact that she would need a co-author. I mean, I was like, were you granted the option of having a co-writer for your book before anybody knew who the hell you were?
Right.
No, I mean, no offense, but I'm like, was that even an option for you to collaborate with a ghostwriter?
Right.
Obviously, Dorit and Erica Jane are in a different position where that makes sense for them.
Right. Like they're a star writing a book and they need help because they're not an author outright.
Right.
Dorit's like, for someone who claims to be an author, she certainly can't read the room. I liked also Erica's feeling her spices around Amanda. She goes in her confessional, I'm really glad you wrote your book all by yourself. I did not. And Dorit certainly did not, because it would never come out otherwise. And then Rachel Zoe joins the conversation, and Erica's like, well, I'm a 2-time, or she goes, I'm a bestseller. And Rachel goes, I'm a 2-time bestseller. And they're like, cheers to that. Like, cheers to having a ghostwriter.
Yeah, Rachel goes, am I okay? I did it 2 times. And everybody's like, holy shit, Rachel Zoe, you're so cool. Rachel Zoe goes, the new girl in town, as a new girl, and that's another new girl, I don't know if we should be doing this kind of shit. They're all openly talking about how Amanda has all rubbed them wrong in different ways. I mean, if Dorit wanted to, this could have been the first round of a fight with Amanda, because at this point she doesn't know that this is the anniversary of Amanda's son passing away. I don't know if we mentioned that yet, that this whole party is taking place on the anniversary of Amanda's son Zion passing away at 5 days old. But Dorit, had every right, if she wanted to, be pissed off enough to make that a thing. But Dorit has even more that she wants to talk about as we get to the dinner.
Yeah. Sutton teased them off that Amanda was talking shit about Dorit talking about PK, etc. So she's teed up for dinner time. We also get the Tilly Sutton convo, which, like I said, it gets resolved pretty quickly. Sutton says her feelings are hurt. Tilly says that she was venting. She was just honest. Like, she handled it well. She's like, yeah, I was venting. I felt like you snapped at me. I didn't appreciate it. She's sort of overwhelmed. She's like, I felt like maybe Garcelle, like something I could see what she was experiencing. Like, she can't get it out. I was like, today, Junior.
Totally. And also, I feel like the game of telephone backfired a little bit because Tilly got to say, Sutton goes, you said that I was as fragile as a porcelain doll, and that's why Garcelle left me. It's like, no, that's not what Kyle relayed to you, and that's not what Tilly relayed to
Right.
Kyle. She said that you make everything about yourself. That's why Garcelle left. So Tilly was able to say, that's not what I said, which it's like, I wish that if you're going to confront people about information that comes back to you, I wish that at least everyone could get on the same page of what exactly was said. But it doesn't matter because Tilly takes full accountability for it and apologizes. And Sutton's like, I never want to fight with you. And Tilly's like, I always want to be your loyal friend. I love you. We've known each other. They've known each other for 18 years, which I kind of forgot about. So it's a true friendship overrides this little petty shit that Kyle tried to bring up. And then they get back to the table. Sutton says, let's go, movie star. And then, one quick moment was that at the tarot card reading, Dorit goes, God, I hope I get a good card. And the tarot card reader flips one over, and it's a guy with a bunch of knives stabbed in his head and blood is pouring down his face. And she goes, is that good? And the tarot card reader says, yes.
She said it represents a hard ending, so her divorce, I guess.
Right.
And then Amanda has a sad one. She after they tell her that she's a major manifester, she goes, "Are you a medium as well?" And she's like, "Kind of, but I can't really control it." And she's like, "Do you hear anything from me?" And she's like, "Sadly, no." And she cries, saying she was hoping that her twin who passed would come through. And I felt bad for the tarot reader, where she was just like, "I'm not hearing nothing."
Yeah. I felt bad too. I really feel like it's disrespectful to ask a tarot card reader if they're also a medium. Because, well, she's like, yes, I've had encounters as a medium before, but I can't do it on the spot like you. It really was putting a lot of pressure. It was like if I went to a psychic and I said, do you also read palms? And they're like, not really well. And I was like, oh, fuck. Well, I wanted you to diagnose something major on my palm. It was
embarrassing.
I think it broke the rules of what kind of industry this tarot card reader was in. And I felt bad that she was, I felt like it was like she made the tarot card reader feel guilty in a way for not being able to sense this deep tragedy within her and put her on the spot like that. But it was, Amanda then, opens up deeply about it. And then it really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the episode because we just heard it at the tarot card reading. So now we're going into dinner knowing that this is all that is on Amanda's mind, and it makes it the encounter all the encounters coming up so uncomfortable, because Amanda has talked about it.
Yeah. The dinner conversation starts where you think the drama is going to be about what Kyle told Sutton that Tilly said, and then it pretty quickly, Dorit just commandeers it. She goes, "You guys are going to be fine. We don't actually need to talk about that. Speaking of things out of context and flying out of people's mouths, Amanda, what was your take on discussing my divorce? I heard you had some concerns about how I speak about the father of my children." I love that Dorit was just like, we're not going down that other storyline. It's unnecessary. It's not that fun. You guys are going to get over it. I have something better.
I think so too. It also because Tilly did not want to be the recipient of any more drama, and she was kind of flubbing and fumbling, just being like, "God, this sucks. I'm sorry what I did." And so I think Dorit was like almost like a professional, was like, "I have a new take on this. I can do something here. Give me the the ball to go in." Little does Dorit know, obviously, that this is the most ill-timed comment you could ever make. And then Amanda really, she really is adept at wielding, I guess, certain statements. She goes, I don't know. Yeah, I might have said something. I think I was talking to Kyle, and maybe Kyle was much more vocal about this sort of thing. And I maybe nodded my head a couple times. She really makes Dorit look like she's a loose cannon in a way. Like she really, really tamps it down pretty quickly before she even, like she would have been able to counter that properly, even if she didn't have, the shit that she was going on. Like she handled it very well.
Yeah,
but
she
then
tries to throw Kyle under the bus. She's like, I think Kyle was the one talking shit, and I just agreed. But then Dorit stays on Kyle's side and is like, do you think that maybe you just absorbed my friend of 8 years' opinion and like took it as your own? And then, this is where she goes, can I be honest? Zion died 3 years ago today, and I am hanging on by a thread. Best moment of the episode, Kathy Hilton. Is that your dog?
Yeah. Oh my God. And then she goes, and then Amanda says, that was my son. And you hear Kathy go, what? And then
your son?
I
literally choked.
Yeah, it is. It really, the promise of reality TV was delivered here, because only in this kind of environment could you have someone mistake the death of a son for someone's dog in that moment, and then cut to commercial and leave us hanging for a second. And then she says again, like you said, your dog, your son. And then she goes, no, Kanan's twin. And I was like, that's not going to help Kathy very much, because I think Kathy probably would have thought it was Kanine's twin. It's like, man, I was like, oh my God, you set Kathy up for failure with that one. And then she goes, no, it's Kanine's twin. And then that's when Kathy gives her what? Deep guttural what? And then the mood. Oh my God, this candlelit dinner. It's all now refocused. No one knew. Rachel says, I wish we had known, and the confessionals are going through everyone. Sutton goes, how the hell could we not have known this? Why did nobody know? And it's a moment where you think about the concept of reality television, where the producers obviously are not going to tell the cast members something that they didn't learn firsthand, that's the actual anniversary today, because they're not going to sully the reality of the environment. But then also you would expect in this sort of forced controlled environment that they wouldn't set their cast members up for failure to do something this egregious, and call it and poke at something that is so utterly sensitive that it's going to make them look like a monster. So it's really kind of interesting what they led the cast members into with this thing about Amanda's tragedy.
They show that Amanda tells Kyle on their way there.
Yeah, right.
She had told everyone about what had happened with her birth story, apparently the week before when we met her like the first time, or like the 2 weeks before. But I think only Kyle knows the anniversary is on this day. And then so they're all like, holy shit, sorry. Dorit goes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that it landed on a day like today. We can have the conversation again at another time. But then she keeps going. She goes, but I'm curious, having an opinion when you don't know my situation or my husband, and you recently told me you prayed for me, so what's that about? And I'm like, Dorit, that's when you drop the boat.
Yeah, so yes, of course. So I didn't really understand. I was trying, because I sympathize with Dorit through this entire thing. Like, I sympathize with both, but I know that Dorit is like, it was like she still has the script in her hands, and she's like, are we calling cut now? Because I'm all geared up and fired up, and this dinner is going to be a waste. And are you even going to keep that statement in? I felt like it was more on Dorit maintaining a professional sort of environment as to why she continued this, instead of it being like she was so callous to what Amanda was going through. Like, I felt like it just didn't even enter Dorit's head of how she should sensitively respond to this, even though it looks horrible that Dorit continued in a way, that Dorit kept going. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really fault Dorit as much as you would think.
I'm of two minds. I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, Amanda, maybe you should be at home with your husband tonight.
Yeah.
First of all, if it's this bleak and hard for you, and you said last year was really hard for you, then don't go. To what will be a rife with conflict Housewives event.
And even you could imagine that the ghostwriter comment wouldn't have gone well, knowing the history of this show. That you kind of tossed the ball up on something where it could have been fodder for conversation already. So I agree with that.
Yeah, but I do think, yeah, on one hand, I agree with you. I think Dorit was like, oh, so we're not doing this? But because I think at one point she even goes, do you want to have the conversation or not? And I just think, to me, I'm like, the second someone said something like that, I would be done talking completely. I'd be like, I'm not going any further on this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, obviously that was the right thing to do. And then Amanda keeps responding, so Dorit thinks that the conversation is still ongoing. But then Dorit, I think, keeps reiterating. She's like, I don't want to talk about it unless you do now. It's like, are we still having the scene that I want, or are you calling cut on it? Because if so, I completely sympathize with you, but I'm a professional here having a scene with you.
Everyone's horrified. Yeah, she even like digs in deeper to Dorit. She's like, do you think it's fair to bring this to me when I just shared what I'm going through? She goes, it's a hard day for me. He died. My kid died. You're not very kind. And Dorit's like, I was doing nothing but being conversational.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go back and forth a few times. So Dorit keeps thinking that they can continue, like, so she gets confused, and then she has to just walk away. And this is where Kathy tries to mediate, and she's like, everybody feels really bad. And Amanda goes, only one person should.
Yeah. That's those kind of statements where I'm like, Amanda knows what the hell she's doing. Like, she's kind of killing it. Like, even when she was even when Dorit was like, you said you were praying for me. And she goes, I did pray. I thought you were going through a hard time, and I still pray for you every single day of my life. It's like, she really knows how to counter these barbs back pretty well. And that was an amazing statement that she said to Kathy. Only one person needs to feel bad, Dorit, for the horrible things she did. I do think, though, taking in all of the empathy I have for Amanda and her situation, at a certain point, you need to know the construct that you're within. And I believe that Amanda, at a certain point, is making this worse and worse for Dorit when she knows that Dorit is a human who obviously has sympathy for her, and they're filming a reality show. But she doesn't let up, and I don't blame Amanda for not letting it up. I guess if you have that, and we've talked about so much pettier shit between people, then yeah, I guess go for it. It's just amazing how Amanda is kind of using this to her advantage in the scene.
Yeah. Dorit, Kathy's like, Dorit, go be the bigger person. Just go apologize. So she comes, tells her she's sorry. She's like, obviously I had no idea. She gives her a hug, and then she tries to wipe her tears. And Amanda's like, please don't touch me right now. And she was like, okay, I was trying to be nice. And she goes, my kid, I told you my kid died, and you just kept going. And Kyle and Erica and Kathy are standing like 1 foot away, just watching them, being like, what is going to happen here? She's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I feel really bad, but and Amanda's like, all right, I need to go, and she drives away. It looks like next week she lets Kyle and Mauricio tour her house, and Kyle is probably crying about how ugly it is, but also that she wonders what would have happened if they would have stayed. Which I never wanted them to move from that house. I never understood why they did.
Do we even know what their rationale was? I don't remember.
I think they just got like so much more rich, and they found that really cool, like 100-year-old or like 120-year-old house in Encino and wanted something even more impressive. But I'm like, your old house was cool.
Yeah. What I liked also is that, like, there was a scene of Dorit continuing to go at Amanda, and they're like talking about her being in a cult and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, that shit did not derail Dorit for a second. She's like ready to go back at Amanda. And honestly, I was like, I was really impressed with Dorit this episode. Yeah. Like, it's kind of Dorit's episode.
I think this season is eating it up. I feel the luxury. I feel the star power. Rachel Zoe is a huge win. Tilly, as always, is a win. This new chick feels like early Brandy, like a true rival who's not afraid to low blow. So we have a lot to look forward to. I am happy. I didn't expect this. I really had low expectations coming into this season.
Yeah, me too. And that's it for Turtle Time this week. We were able to cobble together an episode, Southern Charm, the news, and now Beverly Hills. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and you understand the great lengths that Amy took to make it possible by being in New Orleans and still wanting to recap Beverly Hills.
Yes.
And yeah, any other
I'm
closing
off
thoughts?
to the bayou now, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.